Welcome, thank you all for being here. I'm going to try to convince you all that you should go pursue your dreams. And probably a lot of you are pursuing your dreams. One of your dreams might be to be this awesome speaker like me and Carlos, or maybe Gary and Randy, or just even better than you currently are. So great, that's a wonderful dream. It's a big world out there. There's a lot of different things that you can do and have a lot of fun with it. I have a dream. That guy did have a dream. I don't think he just became this amazing speaker and led a civil rights movement over the course of a week. I think he worked on that for many years, maybe many decades. Oh boy. Why pursue a dream? This is what I'm going to go through. Why pursue your dream? Give you a few examples. Talk about how to actually accomplish those dreams. And a lot of us come up with excuses. So I'm going to point out a couple excuses and why you can overcome those, how you can overcome them, and then a few examples, such as this fella right here, Mr. Martin Luther King. One thing I learned recently is that he's actually the most famous American worldwide. I would have thought Abe Lincoln or George Washington or whoever, or maybe Justin Timberlake, but no, it's that fella. So why pursue a dream? Because you look like this guy. He'll be yellow and bald and blue eyes. Not quite, but you'll have this gigantic smile. Maybe not with all the teeth, but when you are working forward on something that you want to accomplish, every part of your life is going to be just more amazing. So excited, zest for life, energized, and even for work, when you're working on that business or whatever it is, you're going to be more effective and you're going to be more focused on what Mr. Greg Hayes wants for you, for his company and for you and your team, right? Magnanimous. My brother's a good example of that. Basically, people, for whatever reason, he's got this thing, he's excited, he's working on a dream, and people kind of come to him. He's like a magnet that just people come to and get excited about their own thing. One of his things is to inspire other people. He's doing a pretty good job. While you're working forward on that dream, you're going to be bumping into difficulties and challenges, and you're going to have to push those doors open, or you're going to find out that they're open to you, and that's a learning moment, and you'll find out there's more things to do. When you're trying to break through those walls or open those doors, you're going to meet some awesome people, and those will likely turn out to be some lifelong friends. And it might not just be a dream from you, it might be something more than that, something that you're actually supposed to do, and so you're kind of doing what you're supposed to do. So that's why you should pursue a dream. A couple examples. This is mountains a couple miles south here, and actually no, it's west, and about 12,000 miles west, or east, whichever way. Across the world. That's a good example. I think a lot of people use that example, right? Climb Mount Everest or climb some big mountain that maybe you don't have what it takes right now. But if you worked your butt off, got all your stuff in a row, you might find yourself up there. Here's a couple examples. You replaced Mr. Greg Hayes, and Greg Hayes should be happy with that, because whatever you do to get there is going to benefit his company, assuming you stay within CE or UTC, of course. Climb Mount Everest, overcome a fear. Say it's heights, and you do whatever it takes to get to the edge of that airplane at 10,000 feet, and you jump out. That'd be something my mom wouldn't do. I would, I think I would do it, but so that wouldn't be a fear. I'd probably do have that fear, but I think I would jump. A lot of people are living in apartments, and maybe that's not the best living situation, but they don't have the financial system to actually go purchase a home. That's a dream worth working on. It's going to take a while, but it's definitely possible. Run a marathon, 26.2 miles. I couldn't do that today. If I did, I think I'd be in a lot of pain. But maybe a year or two of training, I could get there. Start a business. I have been working on that. And so I'd say I have started it, but it's far from a success. I'm still here, and it's awesome. So big problem. There's a lot of them. And those would be awesome things to spend a decade on and really impact some good people that are struggling, or I guess deforestation is not people. That's something that does impact people. Right? We all need fresh air. Say your relationship with your dad is not so good, or your mom, or your cousin who hurt you, or you hurt them, or whatever. That might take a while to resolve, but I think it would be worth it. And I think when you do resolve that relationship difficulty, you would find it's also worthwhile. So yay, examples, fundamental steps. Start with the end in mind. And this is the end for that climbing of Mount Everest. It's when you're a couple feet from the top, or maybe you're actually already on the way down, and you get to see that amazing view, and you have the, you took all the steps that you needed to get there. You're probably in amazing physical shape. Probably got $10,000 or $20,000 equipment on you. You know these chaps or gals, and you really have a deep relationship with those people. That's a pretty cool place to be, and it doesn't happen over the course of a week. Probably the course of 5 years or something like that. So start with the end in mind, right here. Then you want to explain to yourself, really give yourself the benefits list that you have the passion and perseverance to actually finish that task. It's a 5-year task, and 3 nights in, 3 days in, kind of threw in the towel. It's probably because you're not passionate about it, and maybe you're not passionate because you don't really understand why you want to do that thing. What are the benefits to being at 25,000 feet, exhausted, and hungry? There's a lot of reasons to do this. And investigate how other people have done it. You're not, sometimes you're the first person to do something, but Mount Everest is not one of those. But it would be the first time you've done it. So, other people have blazed that trail, probably follow their method. Create an equipment list. Not all dreams require equipment. This one definitely does. And create the steps. So, might be get the money, right? Read a couple books, get the equipment, climb a small mountain, and then actually travel to India or Nepal and actually start on this thing. Meet some people. And this next one is pretty awesome. Begin immediately. So you don't have to actually go buy the plane ticket, right? But maybe you do go to Amazon and you buy a book that tells you the fundamentals of climbing Mount Everest or becoming a CEO or whatever. And I would actually recommend also getting a start on step 2, that you're moving in that direction. So that might be put something in the calendar. So you bought that book, you read it. What's step 2? Might be look at your budget so you can actually start saving some money. And perseverance is difficult. You got to keep moving day to day. I've been able to do that on a business, and it has kept me moving forward. But I'm not where I want to be. But I'm closer. Common excuses, the one I want to nail. We talk about most is the most common, which is the 2 bottom ones. Most of us talk about being in some place in our life that is not the place to climb Mount Everest, right? We find ourselves to be 12. I'm not 12. But I'm too young to go do that thing. True. But soon enough, you'll be old enough, you'll have the resources to go do this thing. Or you might find you think you're too old. So this fella right here, he's the oldest guy to scale Mount Everest, and he's a Japanese fella, and he's about 80 years old. I think he is actually 80, or he was when he climbed that thing. I wouldn't use age as a reason to not do something. Maybe health, right? If you have a terrible health condition and you're bedridden, Mount Everest is probably not your goal. Oh, this is a lady. She was 14 years old, and she solo sailed around the world. That's pretty impressive. I would say she was too young, but she told me no. Examples of success, I'm going to be quick. I'm at a red light here. This lady was 45 when she started one of the best charities in the world, or my opinion, but that charity is still rocking. So she started at 45. I think she worked on it for like 30 or 40 years, and she did pass away. And if you actually saw this picture of that hand, you would see that she has worked a lot with those hands. They were well used, and that's good. This fella, he's finally came up with his recipe for the special awesome chicken at age 62. Maybe you would have thought he'd be 35 when he got the recipe. Nope. Oh, I gotta talk about this one. Poisson. So yeah, he's 67, but he came up with this thing in probability statistics. I gotta say, it has nothing to do with dreams, but he did it when he was a little older, but the way he came up with the Poisson's ratio or rule or whatever it is when he was studying the French army and the rate of death related to mule kicks of soldiers. So it's more funny, but that's how he came up with his Poisson's ratio. Succeed at your dreams. A couple little statements. I think we've maybe heard those. Life rewards action. My sister pushed that on me. Life rewards action. Inaction does assure failure, right? If you want to climb Everest, the but you don't do anything, it doesn't come together. You gotta go do it. And I'll actually read it. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch trade winds in your sails. Explore, dream, and discover. Something you should do. Thanks.